Victor Reeves stared at the email. Trip to Japan confirmed, price tag, $11,400, months of overtime. Every weekend traded for this, a gift for Allison's 40th, an attempt to breathe life back into a marriage gone dull. Victor, one of Philly's top structural engineers, Allison, turned her photography hobby into a thriving business. 2 kids, Lily, 19, Noah, 16, both drifting, growing distant. You actually booked it? Allison stood in the doorway, coffee in hand. 2 weeks Tokyo, Kyoto, Mount Fuji, Victor said, smiling. She kissed his cheek, the first real warmth in ages, but something shifted. She was always on her phone, always smiling at messages. Old. Friends, she said. Then Victor saw a name. David R. David Reynolds, her college flame. The man who introduced her to photography. The one who left for Seattle and never quite left her heart. One text chilled Victor to the bone. Can't wait to see Japan with you again. Don't worry, Victor thinks it's a family trip. He didn't. Confront. He watched. He tracked the late nights that weren't really at the studio, whispers with Lily that stopped when he walked in, Japanese phrase books suddenly lying around, receipts, patterns, excuses. His engineer's brain kicked in. Document. Plan, act, then came the final crack. Overhearing Lily on a call, David's fine with the sleeping setup. Mom says Dad's still clueless. His own daughter, helping her mother plan a romantic getaway with an ex, using his money, his gift, his trust. Chapter 2. Precision. Strike 4:37 a.m. A message from Lily. We gave your spot to David. He's more fun. Mom didn't know how to tell you, sorry. Victor stared at the screen, not hurt, not angry, just clear. His reply. Noted. By noon he was at the bank. Something's wrong with our accounts, he said. Accounts froze. Credit cards shut. Down. Forensic audit launched. Quietly. Efficiently. Later, Noah walked in. Why aren't you packing? Victor looked at him. Do you know about your mom and David? Noah blinked. Who's David? Victor nodded. Then you're still my son. Noah stood firm. I'm not going anywhere with liars. That night, Victor logged into Allison's laptop. Her password hadn't changed. Inside, emails, hotel bookings, romantic plans, future dreams that excluded him. And this, after Japan, I'll file. Lily loves you. The house will fund our new. Start just a little longer. She'd been planning this for months, every move calculated. Victor didn't scream. He smiled. The next day he helped pack the car. You sure you're not coming? Allison asked. Late meeting. Take my car. More space. She left, unaware she was walking into a trap of her own making. Victor turned to Noah. Now we cancel everything. Every booking erased, every confirmation reversed, fees paid. No hesitation. Then he emailed Allison's clients, informing them of her extended leave and redirecting her work to rivals. Noah watched, wide-eyed. Dad, what is this? Victor looked up, steel in his voice. This is what happens when you betray the wrong man. Here's a sharply rewritten, shortened, and more dramatically engaging version of your script. The tone remains cold, calculated, and emotionally layered, in line with your style. Victor ended the call. Allison's attorney will contact you by end of day, he said flatly. Until then, consider how quickly fortunes turn. One day you're booking a romantic getaway on your husband's dime. The next you're begging for access to your destroyed career. He shut the laptop. Noah, standing nearby, looked unsettled. Mom sounds scared. Fear, Victor said, is the appropriate reaction to consequences. On the screen, renovation blueprints. Demolition of Allison's studio began tomorrow. Noah scrolled his phone. Lily says she didn't know about Mom and David. Not until 3 months ago, Victor nodded. Yet she helped replace me on the trip, protected her mother's happiness, at my expense. An interesting moral compass for a 19-year-old. He closed the laptop. How are you handling all this? Noah shrugged. Confused, angry. Part of me thinks it's too much. Then his eyes lifted. But then I remember what they did, and I get it. Victor placed a steady hand on his son's shoulder. Revenge is emotional, justice is proportional. Noah asked, "Which is this?" Victor didn't answer. "We'll see." The next day, Franklin Webb arrived with court papers. The judge approved the emergency freeze on all marital assets, he said. Allison's attorney filed for a hearing. Tomorrow at 2, you'll need to appear. Victor nodded. "There's more," Franklin continued. "David Reynolds filed a harassment complaint. Says you interfered with his contract at Palmer Development." Victor raised an eyebrow. "I simply accelerated a project timeline on business grounds." "Perhaps," Franklin said. "But coupled with your other moves, it forms a pattern." "I understand. One more thing. Allison's landlord called. Your crew changed the locks. She can't retrieve client files. The studio lease, his in my name, paid with joint funds. Her equipment, bought with diverted marital assets, all documented." Franklin sighed. "Legally sound, but it could paint you unsympathetically." Victor's gaze was steel. "I'm not after sympathy, Franklin. I want accountability." Later, Victor inspected the renovation site. The fireplace she adored. Rubble. The custom. Kitchen. In pieces. The foreman approached. "We're on schedule for gutting the studio tomorrow." "Good. Nothing leaves the premises. Everything gets inventoried." As Victor turned to leave, a black SUV pulled up. David Reynolds stepped out, rattled. "Victor, we need to talk. I've said all I needed. This has gone too far." Victor tilted his head. "Strange words from the man living in an apartment I'm still funding." "I know you're hurt." Victor's laugh was hollow. "You misunderstand. I'm not hurt. I'm simply responding. Proportionally." "By destroying Allison's business? Leaving your daughter homeless?" Lily chose a side. "As for Allison, she was ready to walk away from that business for your Seattle plans." David paled. "How do you—" "I know everything, Reynolds. Every email, every search, every text. You underestimated who you were stealing from." David's jaw clenched. "You can't intimidate me." "I'm not trying to," Victor said. "I'm educating you. Now you're trespassing. This entire conversation is recorded. Leave while you still can." That evening, Victor received a message from Noah. Lily called. "David and Mom are fighting. About money. She wants to stay with us." Victor replied, "Only if she's prepared for complete honesty." Lily arrived looking smaller than before. "Dad, not yet," Victor said. "There are terms. 1. Truth. 2. Acknowledge your role. 3. Accept the consequences." Tears welled in her eyes. "I thought I was helping Mom." "No, you betrayed me on purpose. I didn't know about the money, just that she and David were happy. And my happiness?" She looked down. "I thought you two were done. You barely talked anymore. So, you appointed yourself judge and executioner of my marriage? I'm sorry, everything's a mess now. Consequences rarely arrive when convenient." He handed her a key. "Your room's upstairs. Terms tomorrow." Noah approached. "Are you really going to forgive her?" "Forgiveness," Victor said, "requires repentance. I'm seeing regret for consequences, not actions." Court Allison sat with her attorney, disheveled, unlike her usual polish. The judge reviewed the evidence. Diverted funds, secret transactions, months of deceit. "The asset freeze stands," he ruled. Allison snapped. "He's destroying everything I built, my business, my home." "Ms. Caldwell," the judge said, pointedly using her maiden name, "the evidence suggests you planned. Similar destruction. Objection noted, overruled." Outside, Allison cornered Victor. "You turned the kids against me." "No, Noah chose truth. Lily is learning what betrayal costs. This isn't about David, it's about control. If it were, I'd have acted months ago." "I waited. I watched. What I saw wasn't love. It was theft. I needed security." "Victor, you were always building, working while I raised the kids." "You mean the kids you were relocating across the country without my knowledge? The house you planned to sell without telling me?" Her voice dropped. "What do you want from me?" "Nothing," he said. "Not anymore." "You're offering a settlement?" "Yes. Generous, considering the circumstances." "What circumstances?" "The financial crimes I could prosecute." "But won't—" "I have no objection to the evaluation," Victor said calmly. Franklin raised a brow. Most clients resist that. I have nothing to hide. My actions have been reactive, not aggressive. Later, in the kitchen, Victor found Noah lingering, clearly having overheard. Mom said you abused her, Noah said, stunned. She's building a counter-narrative, standard when facts don't favor you. But it's not true. In court, perception often outweighs truth. That afternoon, Natalie Winters, Allison's closest friend, appeared at Victor's door. Please, 5 minutes, he let her in but kept his distance. What can I do for you, Natalie? This has to stop. David left. Lily's falling apart. Allison's unraveling. Victor offered her water. She declined. I appreciate your concern. The solution is simple. Allison accepts the settlement. They're punitive, and you know it. They're proportional. Had she been honest, we'd have split things fairly. Instead, she chose deception. Natalie's tone sharpened. So this is punishment. No, it's consequence. She made a mistake. Mistakes are momentary. Her betrayal was a campaign, nearly 2 years. Victor leaned in. When did you find out about David? She hesitated. Before Christmas? Her silence confirmed. And the financial diversion, Seattle? She was unhappy. You were distant. Those extra hours funded college, retirement, the Japan trip, the same one she used to write me out. Natalie looked away. She didn't see it that way. Clearly, she saw opportunity, not a partner. Victor stood. Your 5 minutes? Hurry up, tell her. The terms stand. And if the abuse lies continue, escalation is inevitable. Escalate how? You've already taken everything. Not everything, not yet. That evening, Victor received a call from the university. A student's accusing you of misconduct during last year's lectures. He almost laughed. That's absurd. All meetings were in public spaces with witnesses. We'll investigate, but be advised this could escalate. Victor hung up and immediately called Franklin. Anonymous allegation. Get my lecture logs and witness statements. You think it's Allison or someone in her camp? Later that night, Noah returned from a friend's house. People are talking. They think you got fired for harassment. Smear campaigns are the refuge of the cornered. But it's a lie as we're addressing it. Noah looked uncertain. Some think you're cruel. Others think you're a mastermind. And you? I think you're right. But where does it end? When? Justice is satisfied. That night, Victor received a text. You can't prove anything. Stop now or your reputation burns. He forwarded it to Franklin. Trace this. Add it to the file. Checking his home security cameras, Victor saw a car slow past the Riverside house twice. David Reynolds' vintage Volvo. The next morning, Franklin called. Someone sent fake financial documents to your firm. Palmer Project. They're launching an internal audit. Victor was ready. Good, I've already compiled the full file. Let them dig. You expected this? I expected desperation. That afternoon, the court-appointed psychological evaluation proceeded. Victor was direct, composed, unemotional. Your responses are unusually detached, the evaluator noted. Anger clouds judgment. I prefer clarity. Some might find your calculated approach unsettling. Others might call it boundaries. Afterward, Victor checked on renovations at the family home. Allison's Spanish courtyard? Gone, replaced with a Zen garden. The farmhouse kitchen, now sleek minimalism, her touches erased. Then his phone rang. Lily. Dad, it's online. Photos of you leaving a hotel with a woman. People are saying, you cheated. What hotel? The Westbrook last February, he remembered instantly. That was the Denver project. Breakfast meeting with Elena Gonzalez and clients. That's not how it's being framed. Truth withstands scrutiny, lies don't. He contacted the firm. Pull hotel footage, document the meeting. That evening, another visitor. David Reynolds. Hollow-eyed. You win. She's a wreck. Panic. Attacks, no sleep. Then she should speak to her therapist, the one she started seeing while betraying me. I left her. It's over. I'm moving back to Seattle. That changes nothing. What do you want? Accountability. She's suffering. Suffering teaches nothing without understanding. As David turned to leave, he sneered. She looked elsewhere because living with you is like living with a machine. All logic, no heart. Congratulations, you proved her right. Victor didn't flinch. He filed the words away like a structural flaw in a design. Even machines, when pushed beyond limits, collapse. Later, Franklin called. Evaluation results are in. Yours, calculated but no evidence of abuse. Hers, high anxiety, manipulation patterns. Net effect, neutral. So the abuse allegations? Dead, but you're not winning public sympathy. I'm not after sympathy, Franklin, just resolution. Outside his room, Noah waited. Why won't you just let this go? Because they haven't learned anything yet. They've suffered enough. Suffering isn't the goal. Understanding. Victor rested a hand on his son's shoulder. This ends when the cost of betrayal is understood, not before. Victor and Noah exchanged glances as Lily, clearly anxious, spoke up. We're talking about Mom's offshore account. Is she going to jail? No, Noah replied. Criminal charges are unlikely unless the IRS gets involved. Civil penalties are more likely. Lily looked distressed. This just keeps getting worse. Actions have cascading consequences, Lily, Victor replied calmly. A principle worth remembering. That evening, Victor received a call from a Seattle number. It was David Reynolds, his voice tight with tension. You found the account? Yes, Victor said. Your reconciliation with Allison triggered increased scrutiny. The investigators don't miss details. David exhaled sharply. What happens now? The legal system will handle fraud appropriately. It was Allison's idea, the account, the transfers. I only got involved recently. Victor's words hung in the air. Yet you accepted the benefits. I'm calling to make a deal. I don't make deals. I seek resolution. I have information you want about Allison's plans, things you don't know. Victor paused, intrigued. What do you propose? I provide full disclosure, and in exchange you drop me from any financial claims tied to the offshore account. You're offering to betray Allison to save yourself. I'm offering the truth, isn't that what you've wanted? After the call, Victor arranged a deposition for David the next morning, right before the emergency hearing. He also texted Allison. Reynolds offered full disclosure in exchange for immunity from financial claims. Her reply came instantly. He's lying. Don't believe him. Victor didn't respond. He could see through the facade. The next morning, David's deposition was a clear unraveling of the truth. Franklin, observing, asked, Did you question the ethics of the transfers? David hesitated. I rationalized it as Allison claiming what she deserved. Did you know about the offshore account? Yes, she established it last year through a contact. I became a signatory in February when the divorce planning began. Franklin's eyes narrowed. And your involvement? We were planning. A new life in Seattle. Allison would leave after securing the assets. David's testimony was damning. Franklin whispered to Victor, compelling. It aligns with everything we've gathered. The judge will believe it. That afternoon, the hearing began. Allison, now with high-profile counsel, looked tense. As David's deposition was presented, her composure cracked. This is coercion, she protested. The judge was unmoved. The records corroborate Mr. Reynolds' testimony. Fraudulent concealment of assets is evident. Outside the courtroom, Allison confronted Victor. You turned David against me. He did it himself. Self-preservation is a powerful motivator. Allison's voice was low, intense. This isn't justice, it's destruction. Victor's response was calm. The distinction matters less than you think. That night, Victor reviewed the situation with Noah, who was understandably upset. Mom might face criminal charges? Possible, but not likely, Victor replied, focused. David's testimony expedited resolution, a compromise. Noah studied his father. You don't seem happy. Victor paused, considering. Resolution isn't about happiness. It's about restoring balance. Lily later texted, Mom's completely broken. Was this always your plan? Victor's reply was simple. My plan was a proportional response to systematic betrayal. The next morning, Franklin arrived with the final settlement. Allison receives 15% of marital assets, minus fees and sanctions. The account remains frozen. Victor reviewed it. Her business is finished. Reynolds's reputation is damaged. But no direct financial penalties. 3 months later, Victor sat in his new office, the promotion official. The Riverside house, a quieter home, suited his reconfigured life. Franklin arrived, closing out the divorce. The offshore accounts, been liquidated. IRS investigation continues, but criminal charges are unlikely. Victor signed off without a word. We're done. There's one last thing, Franklin said. Allison's requested one final communication, a letter delivered through counsel. Victor accepted the letter and read it carefully. Victor, I now recognize the precision of your response to my actions. You applied the same methodical strategy I used to dismantle everything. My betrayal led to my own downfall. David and I have ended things, and the offshore account that symbolized our future is now evidence of our destruction. She concluded. You were right. Betrayal carries an unsustainable cost. Victor placed the letter in his file, its words echoing with painful clarity. Later, Noah came to him. I've been thinking about college. I want to study architectural engineering. Victor's eyes softened. I'll support whatever you choose, Noah. But Noah hesitated. You're never going to forgive them, are you? Mom, Lily? Any of them? Victor paused, then said, Forgiveness requires emotional resolution. What I've done is structural resolution. Noah absorbed this. And you're okay with that? Just balance? Balance is all that matters. Without integrity, nothing lasts. Later, Victor received a text from Lily. I understand why you won't let me return to Westfield. I'm trying to accept it. His reply was measured. Acceptance is the foundation of reconstruction. 2 days later, he visited the old family home, now fully transformed. Every trace of their life together had vanished. It wasn't loss that Victor felt, but confirmation. Once compromised, structures couldn't be restored. They could only be replaced. At the Riverside house, Noah was packing for the weekend. You'll be okay alone, Dad, Victor nodded. I don't require constant companionship. Noah studied. Him. Most people would still be angry or sad. Victor looked up, unwavering. Those emotions serve no constructive purpose now. Later, Victor got a call from Russell at the firm. The Palmer project client specifically requested you for the Seattle development. Seattle? Victor mused. Interesting coincidence. Not coincidence. They were impressed by your handling of the divorce. They want you for the project. Victor closed the call, recognizing the symmetry of it all. Professional advancement. Born from personal dissolution. As he researched Seattle properties, he understood it wasn't for revenge, it was for completion. The final structural verification of a principle he'd lived by. Integrity determines sustainability. He didn't respond to the text from the Seattle number, but its message was clear. Some structures shouldn't intersect again, and as Victor moved forward, it wasn't vengeance that drove him, it was clarity.